I always thought shadows were supposed to be loyal, faithful echoes that cling to your every move. That's why, last Tuesday at 1:17 a.m., when I saw my desk lamp's shadow stretching upward across the ceiling, ignoring the hard lines of the lamp itself, my stomach twisted. I lay frozen on my dorm bed, watching as that shadow bent in impossible ways, while the lamp stood perfectly still. I didn't dare move, but my phone was on the nightstand, just out of reach, and the room was breathless with an electric tension I couldn't explain. The next morning, I convinced myself it was a trick of the light, maybe the aftermath of too much caffeine and too little sleep. But the shadows didn't stop. My coffee mug's silhouette curled around my hand before I'd even picked it up. The shadow of my chair swayed gently, as if rocked by an invisible breeze, while the chair itself sat motionless. I started taking photos, but the images came out clean. Nothing out of the ordinary, no evidence to show anyone. My friends laughed it off, but I felt watched in my own space, as if the shadows were waiting for something. By Friday, the shadows had become bolder. I'd wake up to find their shapes rearranged. My backpack's shadow hanging from the ceiling fan, my own shadow kneeling at the foot of my bed. Once, I caught the window's shadow crawling across the floor toward me, even though the window itself was locked and still. The air grew cold and thick, and I realized the shadows were no longer imitating, they were acting. I tried to ignore them, tried to pretend I didn't see, but every night their movements grew sharper, more intentional. Last night, the shadows detached completely. They pooled at the center of my room, swirling together, forming something tall and thin with too many fingers stretching toward me. I couldn't move, couldn't scream. As the thing leaned in, its face a hollow void, I finally understood. The shadows weren't following me. They'd been waiting for me to follow them. And now, I think I have. If you see shadows moving where they shouldn't, don't look away. Because if you do, you might not come back as yourself.